All right, we are live on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here today on this amazing Wednesday. It is hump day, the middle of the week. And I feel absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I have a great topic for you folks here today. But before we get to that, let me just ensure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it absolutely has. Thank you once again, Team YouTube. Great job on that. Great job on that. And let me also make sure that the back end of YouTube is rolling smoothly. And it absolutely is. And once again, we are simulcasting publicly live on Facebook today. Let me just make sure that Facebook is running properly. Simulcasting publicly live on Facebook today. Let me just make sure that Facebook is running properly. And yes, it is Coach Eli. It absolutely is. I love watching myself, and you should love watching yourself too. You can learn from your mistakes that way and better your delivery the next time around. And one more piece of business here before we get down to business with today's topic. This channel is being sponsored by my good friend Troy Brewer, who is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. If you'd like more information about the Discover Community Network, please go up in the description about a third of the way down. On the YouTube side of things, you'll find a couple of the links there. One link is to the main site, discovercommunitynetwork.com. The other link is to one of their many subsidiaries. If you are on Facebook, you can actually go to the Facebook search bar and type in Discover Community Network, and you'll find the Facebook business page, along with the other business pages regarding the subsidiaries of the Discover Community Network. Troy is a master marketer and brander. If you need help with your branding and marketing or any products and service types of needs, Troy is the best in the business. I trust no one besides him. If you'd like for me to make an introduction between you, myself, and Troy, you can even email me and I'll set that up. Regardless, Troy's your guy. He's the man. And I thank you, Troy, for your continued sponsorship and patronage of this channel. Lots of love from Coach Eli and the Coach Eli clan. All right. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing today? All right, let me just check out Facebook. There's one person on Facebook. I'm curious to know who that is. Feel free to chat on the Facebook side of things. I will periodically check in on Facebook every so often. But over on YouTube, we have Queen Helen Casey here to start things off. The Queen is here, and she says, "You're good." Thank you so much, Queen. Much love and appreciation. When you're here, Queen, I can just run the show, and you can take care of keeping the chat a very safe and, warm and welcoming type of environment. That's what we do over here. All right, so let's get right to it because I have quite a bit to go over here today, and I don't want to be here too terribly long. An hour and a half, maybe 2 hours max. I'll probably take a break in the middle. And I have some more dating stories to share regarding my dating experiences. I primarily use Match.com and a few other services, but Match.com, in my opinion, is the best when you're looking for a real committed relationship. So let's start off by reading the topic. The topic is, why are men struggling with modern world dating and what to do about it? One more time. Why are men struggling with modern world dating and what to do about it? And if you look at the thumbnail that you clicked on to enter this stream, it says, "Men, we must change our approach." One more time. Men, we must change our approach. So what does that mean? Throughout the duration of this show, I will be explaining how I feel us men need to change our approach when it comes to dating women in the modern world if you're looking for one specific thing. And that one specific thing is not what every guy has at the top of their mind. We all like sex. Let's be real. Whether you're a man or a woman, you like sex. I do too. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But some of us only want to enjoy intimacy with that one special lady in a committed relationship. And that's the primary purpose I'm going to be focusing on here today. And just to make something very clear for everyone, okay? A lot of people, may be wondering, Eli, what about, the players and the guys that just want to hook up with women and have one night stands? Or what if I just want a casual relationship? What if I just want friends with benefits or whatever, right? Well, that's up to you. You can choose to live your life the way you want to live it. But as far as what I teach people how to have the best possible shot of creating a long-term sustainable relationship. That's my primary focus, okay? Now, a lot of the principles that I teach can also help you get women for other reasons besides that, like I just mentioned a second ago, but that's not where my primary focus is at. My channel here as a coach, my job here as a coach, what I preach here as a coach is for people to live a good, amazing, positive, and fulfilled life. Okay? I don't teach people to play games. I don't teach people how to take advantage of each other or how men can take advantage of women and trick them into a one-night stand or something like that. If you want to find out information about that, there are plenty of other channels out here on YouTube that will cater that content towards you, right? And to a certain extent, like I said, the principles I teach on how to find that right woman for a sustainable long-term relationship can also be used for hookups. But if you do use this information to try to get hookups with women, in essence, you are manipulating them, leading them to believe that you want a long-term relationship so they can sleep with you on the first night you meet them, or the second night, and then you ghost them and kick them to the curb, right? And honestly, for guys that do that, I don't have any respect for you. I'll tell you why. It affects the good guys like me that are trying to get with these women that you pulled that fast one on. And then we have to go through a lot more red tape to try to prove to these women that we're not like you and we're not just going to use them for a one-night stand. It makes it more difficult for us. That's the truth of the matter. That's the absolute truth. So again, how you want to live your life is up to you, okay? If you're a man, how you want to deal with women is up to you. If you're a woman, how you want to deal with men is up to you. But what I teach and what I believe in are long-term sustainable relationships that could possibly lead to marriage if it makes sense to do so. That's my message. That's the bottom line. And, I've been single for, well over 2 years now because I haven't found a good woman. I haven't found a good woman that I want to invest time in to get to know and share all that with. Now, I have met a few women in between, and things were starting off like a relationship, but it didn't go, where I wanted it to go. So basically, I had to move past those, relationships early on. I haven't talked a whole lot about them. I did mention them in a few videos. But yeah, I've been putting myself out there and, hey, I've been dating. That's the bottom line. But for me, I'm not going to be fully fulfilled or completely fulfilled, is what I'm trying to say, until I find a good woman that I can trust, that's loyal, that's faithful, that's honest and considerate, loving and caring, etc., that is on the same page as I am, that wants something long-term and sustainable. For me, I don't have that same sexual desire for women that just want a one-night stand. That doesn't do it for me. For me, what attracts me to want to be intimate with a woman is the emotional bond. There's nothing wrong with that as a man wanting to have an emotional bond with a woman, because there's no better feeling than that. Okay. If you don't have an emotional bond with a woman, before you sleep with her, then basically it's meaningless. It's meaningless sex is what it is. And what I preach out here is, living a meaningful life, including the relationships you get into. So I just wanted to put that out there before I get to it. All right. So where am I going to start off? Why are men struggling with modern world dating and what to do about it? Well, the dating world continues to evolve. It continues to change. Like I've mentioned in the past many times, ever since women were liberated about 55 years ago and women became independent, they started working. They started, doing jobs that once only men would do. They started buying their own homes, their own cars, their own everything, right? And the things that women are now doing for themselves and buying for themselves, they couldn't do that back in the days of traditionalism over 55 years ago because they didn't have the same rights and they were dependent on a man for survival regarding what they're, providing for themselves today. So it's created this whole shift in the dating world. And that's made a tremendous difference in how difficult it has become to find true love nowadays. I mean, there are many women out there that have been single for quite some time, women in their 30s and 40s. There are many women in their 30s and 40s, which is what I'm trying to say, that have been single, never been married, no kids. I've encountered them. I've tried to work things out with them, and they're picky as hell. And they want Mr. Perfect. And why do they want Mr. Perfect? Or why do they not give anyone a chance? Because they just feel no one is good enough, right? And that's because they have everything that they need that a man would have typically provided in the past. So now they're looking for the absolute perfect looking guy. They're looking for something that doesn't exist. I mean, they've set the bar way too high, right? So that's one thing that makes it a struggle for men to connect with women nowadays, especially if, you're going to date a woman that makes more money than you. Now, quite frankly, I think a man should, make his own money and make a decent amount of money. And because things are equal nowadays, it really shouldn't matter if the man or the woman makes more money. But the truth of the matter is this. For a real man, that's a traditional type of man that has masculine energy, if he's with a woman that makes 2 or 3 times more than he makes, no matter how much he tries to play it off, or even no matter how much the woman says, oh, it's okay, I don't have a problem making more money, it bothers both sides. There's a lack of, respect there, because the thing that women have always biologically respected about a man, despite the times, has been a man's success, a man's emotional strength, a man's physical strength, etc., right? So if a woman is better than you at those things, which is fine, I mean, equal rights, that's no problem, right? I'm not saying women shouldn't make as much money as men. They should. But it does affect how women see men that are less successful than they are, no matter what they say. Look at the divorce rate. The divorce rate is 60%. The divorce rate is 60%. Why? Because these women are marrying these men that are less successful because they're nice guys, they're okay-looking guys, they're nice guys. But what happens 5-10 years down the road? They realize that, hey, they're just not feeling it. That loving feeling with that guy is no longer there, right? And they realize that they settled because the guy was a decent guy and they wanted to have kids with him, maybe before their biological clock expired or for whatever reason, right? I've actually seen many women that were the breadwinners in their relationships go through divorce. My last two girlfriends were the breadwinners in their relationships and their marriages. And what happened? They ended up in divorce. Even my ex, Dana, she was the breadwinner, and she's a very nice woman. But it ended up in divorce because her husband, once he lost his job, didn't have the desire to go out there and try to find something else that would make him good money. So he would do odds and ends types of jobs, and it just wasn't cutting it. And he ended up becoming complacent and lazy, and she lost that loving feeling. She lost respect for her husband she once loved and respected. Okay? So that's one of the things that's affecting, both men and women, but this is more so catered to men. Why are men struggling with modern world dating and what to do about it? That's one of the things there, right? But let's say that you are a strong, confident alpha male like myself. You understand modern day female nature. You're not a jerk. You're not an arrogant, pompous ass, but you're not a sissy either. You're a well-balanced man in the middle, which I like to call cocky, playful, funny, right? So let's say you're a good guy, you're decent looking, you take care of yourself, you're in decent shape, you make decent money, okay? You got your life together, right? And you put yourself out there on the dating scene, whether it's, through a dating site, dating app, or in person, right? But I'm going to use Match.com again for example purposes, and I'll share some examples here today with you folks in a little bit, because that's where most people go, right? So in essence, I'm not going to call any guy the perfect guy, but a guy like me is a decent guy. I feel I'm decent looking. I have a great personality. I take care of myself. I'm fit. And when it comes to relationships, I'm very giving. I'm not lazy. I like to go out and do things with the women I've dated. I'm not a complacent type of guy. I feel I am a great catch for any woman. That's what I feel, right? So I put myself out on Match.com, and I send a bunch of messages to women I feel I would connect with, right? And then some of them reply, some of them don't. Some of them, don't even have the app on their phone anymore, and it's a dead profile. So you have to send a lot of messages to get a few replies back. As a man, if you're a woman, you're getting hundreds of messages a day from thirsty men. It just happens, right? So you get some responses, right? And these women that respond, most of them, some of them, say your profile is too upfront, it's too arrogant, whatever. I just ignore them, right? Okay, thank you, have a great day, right? Best of luck to you, right? But then you get some of these women that are like, Eli, this is one of the best profiles I've ever seen written. You're a cute guy. I would love to get to know you, right? I would love to get to know you, right? So they basically write back to you and they sense some excitement, right? Okay. So I've been the type of guy over the last few years since my ex where I'm going to try to move it forward as quickly as possible to a first meeting, because these women are getting so much attention. They have like 100 emails waiting in the queue. And out of those 100 emails, they probably selected 10 guys to be put on backup status. And I'm one of them, right? Before she picks one, we're all on backup status, right? Except they don't tell us that, but that's what's happening, right? And because I know that, I try to get their phone number and get them on the phone as quickly as possible, because once I get them on the phone, I can sell them per se, figuratively speaking, that is. I can sell them on my personality, my voice, my confidence, my humor, etc., right? But if you can't get them on the phone, you got no shot. A woman that is into you is going to want to talk with you on the phone and then quickly meet after that, right? But I'm beginning to realize, and I'll tell you, I've tried some new things over the past few days compared to what I've been doing before that. I'm going to share with you the difference in results. It's kind of funny. So a lot of these women, because they've dealt with so many men that led them to believe initially that they want a relationship just to, have sex with them, right? So what happens is, a bunch of other men, played the game and pretended to want a relationship, which is what the woman wanted. Got the woman to fall for him, and then she slept with him right away, and then the guy kicked her to the curb after a few dates, right? And after that happens to a woman a couple of times, when a real guy like me that really wants a relationship and is not looking for a one-night stand, but still wants the sex, right? I'm going to be put through the ringer, right? So you have a lot of these women that may be guarded, at least initially, or that may be guarded, by default, right? But after they go through, a bunch of guys that mislead them and manipulate them just to get sex, right? They even become more guarded when they finally hit a real guy. And then they classify us in that same classification of being a player when we're not. So that's what a good guy is up against. So I've kind of changed my strategy on this because this has been happening more and more in the modern world, right? You want to give yourself the best chance with a woman that you're communicating with to get that phone number. And then after that conversation, to take it to a date and see where it goes. I feel there's a different and better way to approach it now based on what I'm seeing happening currently in the dating world, which keeps changing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if this communication is still here. I'm going to reach a communication with a woman that responded to me earlier on in the week. And I'm going to tell you what happened. So I sent her my standard message, right? And then she got back to me later on that day and said, "Okay, Eli, I'm digging your energy. How's it going?" Okay, I'm digging your energy, meaning that she likes, what was said in my profile, what was written in my profile. She likes my pictures. This is good, right? So I wrote back to her, and I'm not going to mention her name. I'm going to substitute the word ma'am instead of the woman's name, as I always do when I read these. I wrote, "It's going great, ma'am, and thanks for asking. Would you like to talk by phone later tonight or another time? If so, feel free to send me your number and I'll text you to arrange our call." You see how I'm trying to go for the number right away? Because I know that this woman is probably talking to 5 or 10 other guys, right? Out of the 100 emails she's received, right? So I waited a day or so, right? Now, typically I'm not going to message a woman twice, but I actually liked this woman's profile. She was cute. She was sporty. I feel it would have been a good fit. So about a day and a half later, I wrote back to her and said, "Ma'am, did you want to talk further or are you no longer digging my energy? LOL." Right? A little snarky remark. Hey, did you forget about me? Or were you just with just another number in your Rolodex and you just want to keep me on backup status, right? Okay. So she wrote back to me shortly after that, and she wrote, and this was, I believe, on Monday. She wrote, "Hey, sorry, no, I'm still totally digging your energy, just been busy. We're all busy, man. Going kayaking today. Let's try tomorrow." You see, listen to her verbiage. Let's try tomorrow. This woman is not making definite plans, right? So when women use words, let's see what happens tomorrow, let's try tomorrow, let me think about it, that means they have a low level of interest in you, right? Right? Remember what I've said in the past, guys. And women, same thing as well on the flip side, but more so this goes for guys regarding women. Pay closer attention to what a woman does instead of what she says. This woman was saying, I dig your energy, but the way that she's reacting is telling me otherwise, right? So I just wrote back, whatever, right? I didn't write whatever, but I wrote, sounds good. What's your cell number? And I'll text you tomorrow to arrange our call. So she gave me her number. Okay, that's great. I got the number. So now, I text the woman, and I wrote, hey, ma'am, it's Eli from Match. Happy Memorial Day. It is great to connect with you offline. You are right. There's a good, strong energy happening here. How's your day going, right? She gets back and says it's going well, very full. Again, telling me that she's very busy. The last thing a guy wants to hear, if you want him to be interested in you, is that you're busy. Whenever women say, I'm busy, 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 I'm busy, 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 busy. Whenever they say that, they're not interested. Or they have a very low level of interest, or they want to keep you in backup status. All right? You don't have to keep telling me that you're very, very busy, man. So I wrote back and said, just got back home from hanging out with family a bit. I have to say you have a great attitude, and I like your very natural and earthy look. She was cute. She had a very natural beauty to her. What time do you usually go to sleep on a weeknight, and do you have a little time for a phone call before you go to bed? So she gets back to me and says, fun. Are you from the Bay Area? Thank you. That's very sweet to say, she goes. I usually go to bed around 9 or 10. I have a bit of a routine, bath, read, etc. Okay. I understand, man, you have a routine. But if you want a guy in your life, you have to fit him into your routine and stop telling the guy how busy you are. She goes, usually I can take calls until about 7 or 8, depending on the day and whether or not I've got like laundry and stuff to do. Adulting stinks. LOL, she has kids too, right? Look at the attitude, right? Now, she's saying it in a playful way, but this woman is all over the place. She's all over the place. So I wrote back to her, yes, I'm from the Bay Area originally, but my family came here from Greece about 50 years ago. I assume you aren't originally from here based on your area code. You are currently in San Francisco, right? And then I wrote, you're welcome, and I mean it about the earthy thing. Very sexy to me, no joke, LOL. I'm trying to lighten her up a little bit. What did you honestly think of my pictures? I was just trying to lighten her up. I typically won't ask that because that's almost like validation-seeking behavior. But when these women are just like talking about themselves and just talking about how busy they are, I'm gonna try what I can as a last-ditch effort before this thing goes south, right? Also, we can text throughout tonight when possible and talk by phone tomorrow evening instead. How does that sound? I'm trying to make it easy for her. I'm breaking my own rules, which I shouldn't. But she gets back and says, that sounds great. She goes, I'm originally from here, but have lived in Los Angeles for quite a while. But yeah, I'm in the city. Okay. So I wrote, cool. I only ask about the pictures because I think some initial attraction is important, and some women miss the fact that I have a shaved head and they aren't into that. So I always, whenever, I feel they may have missed something, I'll put it out there, right? But I know this is not going to work out. So right now, this is just, looking to see what she does and using it for content, for example purposes. All right. I am very happy and secure within myself, but I'm usually upfront about this. So the woman I'm getting to know has a good idea of who I am. I'm very upfront and honest. Nothing wrong with that. So she writes back, says, oh, I don't care about stuff like that. That's just superficial. I'm like, okay, that's great. What a great response. Sorry you've experienced women who weren't into that when it's just who you are. Well, I don't have a problem if they're not into it, ma'am. The thing is that, when they say they look at my entire profile and they read it and they miss, the fact that I have a shaved head and they're not into that, and I waste an hour on a phone call with them before they figure it out, or I meet up with them and they see I have a shaved head and then they're not into that, I have to be more and more clear, even though I'm very clear about it in my profile. I wrote back, no need to apologize, but wow, you seem like such a sweetheart. I'm just curious to know what stood out about my profile and gave you a feeling of energy between us, because she said that, and then she started talking about herself and started talking about how busy she is. And I'm trying to get to know her, get her on the phone, and all she's doing is talking about how busy she is, right? And I'm just trying to butter her up a little bit, trying to loosen her up, even though I know it's not going anywhere. I go, it's rare to connect with someone like this off the bat, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Also, I'm really a laid-back, down-to-earth, and decent, well-balanced guy. Although if you feel I'm asking too many questions or saying too much at this point, just let me know. I'm super easygoing, right? I shouldn't even have to say all that, right? But this woman is just talking about herself, and she's being nice, but she's talking about how busy she is. She writes back, haha, no, it's cool. Yeah, there was just an initial vibe, I guess. To be totally honest, I'm pretty new to the dating scene, so it was just nice to connect to someone that seemed, laid back and easygoing. And then I just threw a zinger back at her because, again, she's probably recently out of a divorce or relationship, and she's getting a lot of attention from a lot of guys, right? And I wrote back, oh, and cute too, right? LOL, are you at home now? She goes, yep, I'm winding down, watching something, whatever that show's called, about to do laundry and start getting ready for tomorrow. Truthfully, I'm also procrastinating finishing a report I have to write. Chat tomorrow? There we go again. Chat tomorrow, right? Procrastination, right? I wrote, yeah, we can chat tomorrow, but I have one quick request before we go for the night. She goes, okay, what is that? I go, I'd love to hear your voice and give you a chance to hear mine just for 5 to 10 minutes at this time. Because once she hears my voice, at least she might get a little emotionally invested, right? She's trying to prevent a phone call from happening, right? And I'm shit testing her, right? I won't keep you any longer than that, and then we can talk more tomorrow. Just a quick voice intro, which would make talking tomorrow more exciting to look forward to. What do you say? She gets back and says, oh, haha, that's a simple request. Can we do it tomorrow, though? So she gets back to me and says, oh, haha, that's a simple request to talk right now before we go to bed on the phone for 5 to 10 minutes. But then she says, can we do it tomorrow, though? She keeps procrastinating, right? She even said herself she's procrastinating trying to do this report or whatever it was, right? At this point, I'm like, I've pretty much almost written her off. But I go, that's fine. I was only going to keep you a few minutes tonight and talk more in depth tomorrow, but I understand you have a lot going on at the moment. How about you let me know when a good time is for you to have a conversation, and we'll go from there. That's called the takeaway. I gave her the takeaway, right? She goes, okay, that sounds good. So then I wrote, so what time works for you tomorrow before you go work on your stuff? So I was asking her, how about you let me know when a good time is for you to have a conversation and we'll go from there. And all she says is, okay, that sounds good. She didn't answer the question. So I go, what time works for you tomorrow before you go work on your stuff? She writes back, she goes, I'll know better after work tomorrow, most likely in the afternoon/evening though. She's trying to keep me on backup status because one of her other backup statuses has piqued more of her interest. That's what I think is happening here. I wrote back, okay, just text me tomorrow when you are free and we'll figure it out. Good night. She goes, sounds good. Okay. So what happens the next morning? She sends me a message on Match.com, even though she could have texted me with this message, right? And listen, I'm a smart guy. I tried to get her on the phone, even for 5 or 10 minutes. She kept procrastinating, kept putting it off, right? She wouldn't answer all my questions. She was trying to act positive, but she wasn't trying to progress it forward, but yet she wasn't writing me off. She was trying to keep me in backup status. She was trying to slow me down while she figures out which one of the other guys she may want to give a chance to over me, right? That's what I assume, right? So she writes back to me the next morning. Hiya, Eli. After doing some reflection, I realize that I'm not quite ready to date or put energy into meeting new people right now. That's bullshit, man. You went with another option. You think I'm buying that? Queen, that's exactly right. Queen says in the chat, she's not interested in you because she's probably talking to other guys. Yep. Yeah, let's read that again. After doing some reflection, I realize that I'm not quite ready to date or put energy into meeting new people right now. No, you're not interested in me, ma'am. You're interested in some other backup that somehow did something or said something that further piqued your curiosity for him over me. Okay? So I'm going to take a little match hiatus. Thank you for understanding. Why would she feel the need to even send me this message, right? So I'll tell you what I did. I knew she's BSing, and it's done. But this is what you do. This is what you do. You always want to leave your options open because you never know. She may contact me down the road. I won't give her a chance, but you want to leave the option open to see what she does, right? Whether you give her a chance or not, because I can always make content out of it, right? So she actually put her profile on hidden, but I can still get her messages, right? She hid her profile. So I sent her a text and I said, hi, ma'am. I just got your message on Match. Thank you for making me aware of your situation. It takes a real considerate person to do that, which it does. I have to give her that, but she was BSing me. But she's BSing me because she didn't want to hurt my feelings. So quite honestly, this is what women typically do. This is what feminine women do that have a better option, right? They don't want to hurt your feelings, right? But they want to try to let you down as easy as possible, right? So they try to make it seem like it's them and not you, right? But it's not them, it's you. They're not into you. That's the truth of the matter. This says a lot about your character, and I greatly respect that about you. If you change your mind down the road, feel free to look me up. For now, have a great day and take care. She gets back and says, thank you. That's very sweet. Yes, I will. Have a wonderful week. No, you won't, man. I'll never hear from you again. I haven't blocked you, ma'am. We'll see what happens. But even if you come back at me, or back to me later on down the road, even if I'm single, I'm not going to give you a chance. You had your chance, right? Now, what could I have done differently with this woman to give it a better chance, right? Well, the only thing I could have done differently is communicate with her through Match a little bit longer and not push to go to the phone right away. But that completely goes against what I believe in, right? But when I get back from the break, I'm going to take a break here in a second. When I get back from the break, I'm going to share with you another communication I had earlier this morning with a woman that just responded to me, and it's going actually quite well. And this actually has some good potential. And I handled it differently. I didn't try to take her to the phone right away, but it ended up going to the phone anyway. And I'll share more about that when I get back, because see, nowadays, guys, the truth of the matter is this: women are getting a lot of attention. They have a lot of, men on backup status, right? They're trying to figure out what's the best fit, right? They're getting bombarded by messages at a ratio of probably 25 messages for everyone you get, they get 25. So it's 25 to 1 ratio at least, right? Okay. Not only are you dealing with that, you're dealing with women that may have just gone through a divorce or may have just gone through a breakup. And even if they've been single for a year or two and they've worked through their past marriage or relationship, they've given other guys a chance that led them to believe they wanted a relationship, but those guys were just manipulating them to get sex. So now you throw that in the mix, and you're dealing with an abundance of thirsty men reaching out to these women at the same time. They're overwhelmed in that way. They've gone through things in the past. Maybe they've just gotten out of a marriage or relationship. And even if not, they put themselves back out there and they put their trust in some of these guys that led them to believe that they wanted something real, but these guys just manipulated them to get sex. So now by the time they get to you, they're extremely guarded, right? And they're extremely cautious, and they're looking at every little step you make. So with a lot of women like this, your best chance with one of them, I'm not saying this woman's a bad woman. I think she's a good woman, right? But I think what may have put some of the other guys ahead in the queue of me is the fact that these guys were probably not trying to get her on the phone as quickly as possible. So, I'm starting to change my approach to the point of where, I now will say, okay, hey, why don't we send a few messages back and forth here through the match system and, see how that goes. And, hey, if it goes well, maybe we can talk by phone sometime, right? You put less pressure, right? And it's not that you're trying to put a lot of pressure trying to get into the phone, but based on what I'm more so seeing women go through as I've talked to more and more women, I'm now understanding what is, turning these women off about me. It's not my looks. It's not my personality. It's the fact that I'm trying to push it forward to a phone call or a meeting as quickly as possible. And they want to take their time and figure out which guy is the best possible guy. So that's what's really going on there. Now, before I take my first break and come back and read with you something that seems to be a pretty good success story so far, you're going to see the difference here of how I handled this and what the outcome is like so far. So give me just a second here. Let me check out the chat real quick. Let me see if anything's happening on Facebook. Nothing on Facebook. One person still there. That could be either Johnny or Darren or whoever it is. Welcome to the one person viewing on Facebook. We've got 20 in the box on YouTube. Let's see. Riff Mago says, "How old was her photo?" Oh, it was recent, dude. She's 43 and I'm 47, and she looks good for her age. She was in good shape. Let's see. Queen Helen Case says, "Hello, Riff." Riff says, "Hello, Queen." Queen Helen Case says she is not interested in you because she's probably talking to other guys. Yeah, we already got to that. You're right. You're 100,000,000% right on that, Queen. Riff says, "Congratulations. You are now the backup guy." No. I'm not the backup guy. I withdrew. I called her out, Riff. Riff Mago says DTB, DTB. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not gonna read what that means, but I agree with you. Lewis Fuller's in the house. Good afternoon, host Eli. Hey, Lewis, how you doing? Just gave you a like. Thank you, Lewis. Queen says hello, Lewis. Lewis says hello, everyone in the stream. Hi, everyone in the stream. Hi, Queen says Lewis. Riff says these modern women act like they're private parts are the golden ticket for F's sake. You're right. You're right. It's because of how other guys, how the thirsty beta males are approaching them. And it's not even only the thirsty beta males. It's the players. It's the pickup artists that are leading them to believe that they want a relationship. So that way the woman can put her guard down and allow the guy to have sex with her, like almost right away, right? And after she meets a couple guys like that, and then I come around and I'm basically, telling her the same things that these guys are. The difference is I actually mean it when these guys don't. She's not going to believe me, right? See, that's what happens. You're dealing with thirsty betas. You're dealing with PUA players, right? You're just and you're dealing with so many different types of guys. And plus, these women are getting bombarded with so many messages and have so many guys in the queue that they're literally overwhelmed. Like, seriously, women are literally overwhelmed on online dating sites. And I've known that, right? I just didn't realize until I really started looking into it and talking more so with them about this, right? What was really happening and how overwhelmed they are and how it's affecting me. It's not me. It's not the fact that they're not attracted to my pictures or my profile, okay? It's the fact that they're overwhelmed. So they're looking to see who's the most patient guy, right? And I am a patient guy. But the reason why I want to take this to the phone as quickly as possible is because I'm trying to have the best shot of beating out the pack of, backup status guys, right? And these women are figuring out nowadays that's what guys like me are trying to do. We're trying to get them on the phone so that way they can, stray away from those backups and focus on us. That's exactly what this woman knew. I was trying to get her on the phone. And she kept resisting because she wanted to keep communicating with other guys at the same time. She had not decided yet. She gave me a false sense of hope when she said, I'm digging your energy, right? When a woman says she's digging your energy, that's typically saying or showing a high level of interest. But as we went further on, after I asked for her number, right, and then she kept on flaking on arranging a phone call, that speaks for itself. Let's see. Louis Fuller says, I'm doing good. That's great, man. That's great to hear. Riff Mago says, dating sites, validation mechanisms for the already overblown modern female ego. You're right. There's a lot of validation on there. But every now and then, you'll find a rare woman. I'm not trying to put this one on a pedestal that I'm talking to right now. I started talking this morning. But it seems pretty promising. I'm just going to put it to you that way. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but I'll share with you the difference on how this went compared to how the last one went when I get back from the break. So, but you're right. The majority of women on online dating are there for validation. They want to know if they're still appealing to guys. They want to see how many messages they can get. All right, so with that being said, let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Let me see here. What do I want to play here? Let me see here. All right, folks, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away. Oh, by the way, before I step away for that quick break, Riff, my background today was created. You see this right here, Riff? Oops, wrong way. See this right there? That's a lone wolf right there, right? That's a lone male wolf, right? You call yourself the lone wolf on guitar, right? Okay. This is how a lot of good men like myself are feeling nowadays. Don't get me wrong. I'm secure within myself and I'm happy within myself. But I would like to have a nice woman in my life, right? And when it comes to women and only women, this is how I'm feeling, right? I feel like, I'm on the top of this mountain. No one else is around. You're all alone. It's peaceful. It's quiet. And you're just thinking to yourself, wow, this world's an interesting place. But you know what? I'm not going to allow myself to feel down. I'm just going to say, okay, it is what it is. We're going to go back to the drawing board tomorrow, and we're going to keep on trying until we get what we want and what makes us happy and fulfills us, right? And that's what I've done. But I put this background here because that's how it feels to a lot of guys. A lot of good guys like myself that want a real good woman. And we put ourselves out there to try to find that. And it's extremely challenging nowadays. But hey, like I said, you don't give up. I'll share with you folks what happens when I get back from the break. So with that being said, stick around. We'll be right back. we're back. Scratch it, Eli, and get back down to business. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Once again, it is Wednesday. It is hump day. It's the middle of the week. We're halfway through, just a couple more days until the weekend. And I'm looking forward to this weekend. I get a good feeling about this weekend. Who knows? I'll share more about that in just a little bit. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, Eli. But you gotta have a good feeling, and you gotta take chances in life if you want to get somewhere. And listen, folks, most of the chances you take in life are not going to pan out. Does that make you a failure? No, it just means it wasn't meant to be. But how would you know if you don't take that chance, right? And what if the one time you didn't take that chance, you could have found the woman of your dreams? Or if you didn't take a chance making that investment, you could have made $1 million, right? You're going to be hitting yourself in the head. So my whole thing when it comes to coaching, or my entire thing when it comes to coaching, primarily involves people taking chances, but take good risks. Don't take dumb risks. Take good risks. But no matter what, a risk is a risk. And if you're not willing to take chances, you're never going to get ahead in any part of life. All right. So today we have been discussing why are men struggling with modern world dating and what to do about it. One more time. Why are men struggling with modern world dating and what to do about it? Before I took a break, I shared one story of a woman I was talking with earlier on in the week and how she initially appeared to have a high level of interest with the verbiage she was using through her communication. But what she was saying wasn't congruent with her actions. And, I tried to get her to the phone as quickly as possible. And because of some things I mentioned during the first part of the show, it may have kind of may have pushed her away to go to a different option. Because she was trying to slow me down without saying it, right? She was trying to say, slow your roll, Eli. And I'm beginning to more so see nowadays, especially if you use online dating where women have lots of options. Well, women have lots of options regardless, and that's part of the issue. You got to slow your roll and allow them time and space to think about things. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the man that gets a chance with her is going to be the man she feels she's most connected with. And I will tell you, folks, I've said this before, and I will say it again. This is the way to get yourself to the top of a woman's list. Now, you have to be a good guy and be able to carry a conversation, but there are lots of guys that can carry a good conversation, etc., right? But what's going to put you at the top? I've said it before, I'll say it again, and many people may think otherwise. But other coaches I've followed, like Dan Bacon and Coach Corey Wayne, say the same thing. In order for a woman to put you at the top of her list and give you that chance, she has to feel a large spark of sexual attraction. Let me repeat that one more time. She has to feel a large rush or spark of sexual attraction. What a lot of guys don't think, and some women, most maybe not even admit, is that they like sex just as much as guys do, maybe even more. As women get older, they're in their sexual prime in their 30s and early 40s. Men are in their sexual prime at 18, unless you're me and you still feel like you're 18 and you still have the testosterone level of an 18-year-old. That's a different story, but that's very rare. Most guys, as they age and they get to my age at 47 or, in their late 40s, early 50s, they lose a lot of their testosterone. They gain a lot of weight. They don't have the energy, right? So that means they desire sex less, right? Even though they want it, they desire it less because they know they can't perform. It's like an insecurity. Instead of keeping themselves healthy and fit and being able to do what they once did at 18 at any age, right? So again, if a woman is not feeling a large spark or large rush of sexual attraction. Even if you're, a decent looking guy and you're good on paper, you make good money, you got your shit together, it's just not going to go anywhere. What women want that have lots of options nowadays is they want to find a guy, first of all, that is looking for the same thing they're looking for example, a relationship, right? Let's say they have 20 guys in the queue. And let's say out of those 20 guys, 15 of them, just want something casual, and 5 of them want what she wants, a relationship. She'll look at those 5 guys. Those other 15 guys are going to be on backup status forever, right? And those 5 guys that want what she wants, she's going to look at them and she's going to see which one of these guys makes my lower region feel a tingle, let's put it that way, the most when I look at their pictures, right? And that's the guy she's going to focus on, right? But even if you're that guy she feels the biggest tingle with, 1 hour later, she might get a message from another guy that wants, a relationship, and that his pictures give her a little bit more of a tingle, right? It can change just like that, right? So what's the best way to give yourself the best chance to find a high quality woman? Is to keep yourself in the best shape as possible and deal with what you've got. Hey, I don't have the greatest hair. I shave my head. I wear nice hats. No problem. Okay? Most women have no problem with bald men, right? When you shave it, right? Some do. Those women, they'll eliminate themselves because you put it in your profile, a shaved head. If, you're not into that, I'm not your guy, right? So you can only work with what you've got. But part of working what you've got is, getting yourself to a level where you show up being the best version of you that you can be, meaning that take care of yourself. I'm 47 years old. I'm at a healthy weight level. Because I don't have, regular hair. I mean, I could grow my hair back, but, it's not that great, so I shave it. Because I don't have hair on top of my head, I focus on my beard. Now, I'm 47 years old. And, I do have a little bit of gray. So what do? I do what the women do to color. Women color their hair. I color my beard. I use Just for Men. It also softens my beard. So when I'm making out with a woman, it doesn't, hurt her face, right? I work with what I've got, and I'm taking care of myself as best as possible. So that way, I can attract a high quality woman, which is what I want. And a lot of people that are single for a while in the same position as I'm in, or in the same position I'm in, it's not because we can't get a woman. We can get a woman. We're just not going to settle for a low quality woman. I'm not going to settle for a woman that doesn't take care of herself, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Right? Okay? So I want a high quality woman because I'm a high quality guy. But who gets the most attention? The high quality women get the most messages. They're getting hundreds of messages. That's what makes it harder, right? So it's all about a numbers game. You keep putting yourself out there, and one of these days, you'll just come across one woman, like I came across earlier today, which I'll share that communication here in a second. And she'll put you at the top of her list. And you can pick up on that. You'll see through our communication, this woman's really into me. She's interested. And I can tell she has a large level of sexual attraction, which is great. But she also likes my personality, right? And I also approached her differently. I didn't try to get her to the phone right away, even though we ended up talking on the phone. So why don't I get to that right now and share with you folks what happened. Let's go to the Match.com app and read the communication. So I sent her my opening message, and she got back to me. She said, "Good morning, Eli. I hope you're having a great morning. I thought I was in a good place when it came to dating, but I guess I am off my game. Let's talk and see where it takes us. And then she put her name. I'm not going to mention her name. I'm going to refer to her name as ma'am. Now, let me check out Facebook. Nothing happening over there. No one over there right now. I was like, okay, how do I take that? She seems interested. And she put herself out there and tried. It didn't work out. Okay. So I wrote back to her and I said, good morning to you as well, ma'am. And thanks for your very nice response. My day has started off amazing. What about yours? How about we send a few messages back and forth here throughout the day and then possibly talk by phone later? You see the different approach I took? I didn't say, hey, I really like how you sound. What's your number? And I'll text you to arrange a call. Do you see the difference, right? The difference is you take the pressure away. Now, it used to be, in my opinion, the right thing to do is to just, hey, you seem cool. What's your number? And we can talk by phone, right? That's being direct and decisive, right? But because of what I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this show, what women have gone through, being manipulated by guys to believe that to get them to believe that these guys want a relationship when in essence they're just trying to manipulate them in the sack, right? And because they have a lot of options, right? Because of all of that, and it's happening more so nowadays, taking this approach is more of a lighthearted approach. It's more of a relaxed type of approach, an approach with less pressure on the woman, right? That's what I was doing here. So I said, look, how about we send a few messages back and forth here throughout the day and then possibly talk by phone later? By the way, I'm self-employed and working from home. I'll wait for your response and we'll go from there, Eli. She gets back to me almost right away. 4 minutes later, my morning just got started and trying to get out of bed. I work from home too. Yes, we can talk on the phone later. And then she gives me her number. I didn't even ask for her number. And she gave me her number. That's a woman that has a sky high level of interest, right? I didn't ask for her number. I intentionally said, how about we send a few messages back and forth throughout the day here on the Match app? And we can possibly talk by phone later. Yes, we can talk on the phone later. Here's my number. Okay, I didn't ask for your number, but thank you for giving it to me because I was interested. Okay. I wrote back to her. I said, great. I will text you in a bit for now. Do you mind if we send a few messages back and forth here on Match? It is easier to multitask for me this way. Let me know, and then I have some interesting questions to ask, right? So I still didn't put pressure on her. I wanted to get to know her in a very, very easygoing, safe way, right? Even after she gave me her number. She gets back and says, okay, what would you like to ask me? So I wrote to her, I said, so before I start, I just want you to know I'm a very well-balanced, cool, and laid-back guy. I just want to get to know you and see how well we get along. So please don't think I'm trying to ask too many questions or say too much. I'm just real and not looking to waste my time and anyone else's time. With that being said, what are you truly seeking regarding a man, and do you have a good balance between your work, family life, and personal life to fit a good man in? Do you also have weekends free to spend some of your time with that special man should you find him? So I'm asking her things that are important to me because I take, most weekends off. Sometimes if I have nothing going on, I'll do some streams or videos, right? But I like to take my nights and weekends for my personal time. I'm looking for a woman that has weekends off because that's the time I like to invest spending time with someone that I'm dating, right? So I'm asking very good questions. What do you think, Queen and Rip and everyone else? Good questions, right? So she gets back to me and says, okay, it's 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs. Okay, I ended my 9-year relationship 5 months ago. We also met online, so it does work. Wow, 9-year relationship 5 months ago. Okay. I guess she's had enough time. Maybe she was falling out of love with this guy, um, long before she broke up with him. For me, I was no longer in love with him. She fell out of love with him and stuck around. So she fell out of love with him and detached emotionally from him while she was still with him, which is why she's ready to move on. Okay? I stayed because I guess I felt comfortable around him. Look at how honest this woman is being with me. This is like one of the most honest women I've ever talked to. She's telling me the truth because this is the truth. So when I became single, it took me a couple of months to get back in the dating scene. So here I am. These days you need to be Columbo. I know, Riff, you're right. You're right. To make a long story short, she says in her second paragraph, went on dates and none of them turned out as I hoped it would be. A couple of second dates and that's about it. I definitely want to be in a relationship because I miss having that guy wake up next to me. Naked man? Of course. Or just having someone to kiss every day and night. Kissing's only the beginning, ma'am, but you're being polite about it. But I get what you're saying, ma'am. You're interested, right? I want someone who's passionate and sees only me. No problem, ma'am. If you keep playing your cards the way you're playing them, you'll get my attention. And then she writes in a short third paragraph, yes, most weekends I am free and would definitely have time for my man. What more can I ask for? She answered all my questions. And in a way that works for me too. So at this point, I was like, I'm blown away. At this point, I said, screw it. She had already given me her number, but I forgot that she gave me her number. So I go, wow, what's your number? And may I call you briefly? I love what you just said. She gave me her number again. Didn't even question the fact that she already gave it to me, even though she could have. She's being really cool with me. So then I sent her a text. Now, do you see the difference there? I took my time with this one. And because I didn't put any pressure to get her on the phone right away, and because she had an initial large amount of sexual attraction and she liked my profile and all that, it made it easy. So I texted her and I said, hey, ma'am, it's Eli from Match. I'll call you in 5 minutes, okay? She goes, hey there, okay. And that's all the texting we did. We talked on the phone for about 30 minutes, and then I cut off the conversation because I knew she had to, start work. She was working remotely from home. And I had to get to doing my stuff. And it was a great conversation. It just flowed. She's easy to talk with. And then she told me that she's going to be going out to dinner with her 2 daughters tonight. She has 2 daughters that are, 21 and 28, I think. She's 48 and she's going to be 49 in like 2 weeks, like 2.5 weeks. When she told me that on the phone, I'm like, you know what? Hey, you know what? We get to know each other between now and then. I'll make your 49th birthday extra special. I'll take you away for a weekend. How would that sound? We were just feeling it. Sometimes you feel that instant connection. When you feel that instant connection and she feels it, you just go for it, right? You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, right? She's like, that sounds good. But I hate the fact that I'm turning 49. And this woman is, she was born here, so she has no accent, but she's like Filipina Asian. And she's not fat, but she's not super overly stick figure skinny. I think she said she's like 5'3", about 125 or so, right? Not bad. Got a little extra on her. She's cute. She looks great. She looks good for 48, almost 49. She looks like she's in her early to mid 30s. I told her that because she was saying, oh, I'm getting old and, looks are going to fade and this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I just want to find a good man. I said, you look incredible. Don't worry about it. I told her. I said, it's all good. Right. And, she was, not overly submissive, but she wasn't masculine at all. Like she was just really easygoing. Like she was just really feeling it, which is great. So I told her, I said, hey, how about we, and then she said, I'm not going to be free to talk later tonight. We can talk tomorrow. I'm going to dinner with my two girls. I'm like, okay, you mind if we just send some messages back and forth to get to know each other more so throughout the day? I prefer to do it on Match.com now because I can multitask and type on my computer instead of texting from my phone, right? She said, no problem, right? So back to Match we go, and I wrote hello again. It was very nice to hear your voice. How do you feel after hearing my voice? I have some interesting thoughts if you want to hear them, LOL. She goes, it was great talking and hearing your voice. What are your thoughts? She goes. And at this point, I was like, okay, I'm not going to waste any time. She's feeling it. The fire is hot. I'm either going to make the fire hotter and this thing's going to take off like a rocket, or it's going to die down, right? At this point, I'm like, okay, let's see how genuine she is about this attraction. Because when women are into you, it's an automatic thing. There's not a whole lot you can do to mess it up unless you say the wrong things, unless you're stupid, right? So I said, I'm going to push the boundaries a little bit. I wrote, well, let me say this first and see if you agree before I say more. I'm feeling a connection here and a curiosity and spark. Are you feeling this before I share more? Are you curious and intrigued, right? She goes, yes, I would agree. And then she wrote back after, she goes, I would definitely want to meet you and see where it takes us. You know exactly where it's going to take us, ma'am. I look forward to that. Coach Corey Wayne likes to call that the Indoor Olympics. So then I just, asked her a few other questions and some personal stuff that I'm not going to put out here. But let me tell you something. There's no woman that would answer these personal things. And it's nothing crazy. Don't get your head in the gutter, folks. But no woman would be that open to discuss what we talked about unless she's ready to meet and can't wait to meet. So I had told her to answer a couple other questions before I would answer the other question she just asked. And then I said, that's good to hear. Now I'll answer the question you asked earlier. She said, or I said, you said you would definitely want to meet me and see where it takes us. First of all, I appreciate how open and honest you are. And this may seem crazy, but I feel we are already connecting. I didn't expect this, but I feel like I'm excited and can't wait to see you. Do you feel the same, or am I crazy? Now I'm just kind of messing with her, right? So she didn't get back to me for a while, and then she gets back to me like a few hours after that, or an hour and a half, and she says, just finished a Zoom meeting. Okay. Hey, she was honest. She was on a business conference video call. And then she goes, yes, I feel the same. Great. I said, no worries and no rush on the replies. I'm letting you know I'll be busy between 12:45 and 3 p.m., which is, time I'm doing this stream Pacific time. With that said, I'm glad you feel that way. I genuinely like you. I'd like to meet you as soon as possible if you are open to it. Because now she's feeling it. Now I'm testing to see how accurate my thoughts are of how much she's really into me, right? Because a woman that's into you is locked into you. And at that point, they want you to come in and lead the way, right? So this is my opportunity. I'm finally connecting with a woman that has a huge level and huge rush of sexual attraction, and she likes who I am, and she knows I'm looking for the same thing. I genuinely like you. I'd like to meet you as soon as possible if you're open to it. If things go well when we meet, we can do something this weekend if you'd like. Let me ask you this, and hopefully it's not saying too much. I just threw in there. Do you feel like you want a big, long hug from me, right? Just throwing in, some stuff that, women like, right? And she goes, listen to what she says, right? And then how I turn it around. We can meet up Sunday morning. I love breakfast, and I'm not a picky eater. That's great. You're not picky, ma'am. Neither am I. Yes, a nice hug would be nice, and I'm fully vaccinated too. I'm getting my first shot tomorrow. So it's all good. I wrote back to her and I said, how excited are you to see me? She goes, can't wait. So then I responded and I said, well, then why wait until Sunday? I have a better idea if you want to hear it, right? Let her think about it. Let her anticipate it, right? She's like, okay, what is it? I said, I'd like to come meet you briefly tomorrow night once you are done with everything, no matter what time that is. Because she's not free tonight. So I said tomorrow, right? If our meeting tomorrow goes well, which I think we both know it will, I'd like to plan something special for the weekend. How does that sound? She's like, okay, it would have to be after my dinner with my daughters. We usually eat around 6 p.m. I guess she's going out with her daughters again tomorrow. My oldest usually hangs out at my place afterwards, so I will text you afterwards. Where do you want to meet? I wrote back and I said, we'll figure out where to meet tomorrow, later tonight. I need to go for now. You see, I'm leaving her hanging a little bit, right? So I'm not overwhelming her. I've got things to do. I've got a business to run, but I will get back to you. And don't worry, I'm not going to forget about you, right? So again, we'll figure out where to meet tomorrow later tonight. I need to go for now. Please text me when you are done with everything tonight. I'd like to talk with you by phone a little bit before you go to bed tonight, okay? Initially, she was saying she can't talk tonight because she's going to be spending time with her daughters. But this was before she figured it would get to this level. So I sent her this message, and she hasn't responded. I think she's respecting my wishes. I'll probably send her one more text when I'm done here off the air. But that was it. So we're probably going to talk later tonight, and we're going to definitely meet tomorrow. And if it goes well, then maybe we'll go away for the weekend. Who knows? Who knows? Sometimes, folks, you just get a good feeling for someone. They get a good feeling for you, and you go for it. In today's day and age, if a woman like this comes across, you have to seize the moment before some other guy comes in there that she gives a chance to. She's given me a chance because I wrote, she goes, I really liked how direct and honest you were in your profile. Didn't scare me away. I've never seen any other guy write something in the way you did. And she told me she believes in me. Why not seize the moment and go for it, right? Do you see the difference there? Do you see how I handled this situation by not trying to get her to the phone right away, right? Here's the thing, guys. And I've heard many other coaches say this as well. And I agree with it. I've always agreed with this. But now I'm also going to start doing things differently. If it doesn't work out with this woman, we'll see. Hopefully it does. If it doesn't, and I'm back to the drawing board, you've got to slow things down even online. You've got to always be a little bit behind the woman with the level of interest. So what I'm saying is this. If at any time the woman perceives you to have more interest in her than she has in you, it's going to make her feel awkward, and it's going to make her feel like you're coming off needy and weak, and it's not going to work out. I just popped my pop filter, sorry. Excuse me a second. Yeah, give me a second here, please. What about Bob? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Are you trolling or are you here legitimately? How'd you find out about this channel? What about Bob? And don't tell me you saw it suggested or something, because I don't have the traction to be suggested at this point. So be honest, Bob. Are you here trolling, or how'd you find out about this channel? Queen, keep an eye on What About Bob, and you know what to do if What About Bob breaks the rules. Well, like I was saying a second ago, folks, look at the difference by allowing this woman to show more interest, even initially, than myself. Now, what a lot of the dating coaches, including myself, have said in the past, and some of them still say this, is that initially, as a guy, you have to do some pursuing. And I do agree, you do have to do some pursuing, but once you meet the woman, and let's say you sleep with her and you start to see her, right? At that point, you back off and you let her do 70 to 80% of all texting, calling, and pursuing. Your job as a man is just to set up the next date when she reaches out to you. Okay? Hang out, have fun, hook up. That's it. That's your job, right? Her job is to reach out. You give her the space, the time and space after you spend a weekend with her to reach out to you. When I was dating Dana, she reached out to me every day. And like I mentioned before, I'll say it again. It got to the point of where even Dana was saying, how come you never reach out to me first? I said, because it works perfectly the way it's happening, babe. You reach out to me, I respond to you. What's wrong? I really would like it if you could reach out to me, sometimes or half the time. I said, babe, here's the thing. If I reached out to you first, you'd get bored of me. And, it's like, it has to be your idea, babe. Okay, I understand that you got all this coaching stuff and all this and that, but like, I care about you, and you know that I wouldn't hold that against you. Well, that's what you say. She goes, well, can you at least reach out to me once per week? I said, okay, once per week, I'll initiate the text and say good morning to you first, right? Do you see how effective it is, right? It has to be the woman's idea. The relationship has to be her idea. If she's reaching out to you first, the majority of the time, she's not leaving you or cheating on you. But if you're always the one that's reaching out to her first, the opposite will happen. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. It's all good. So this is the thing, guys. As you're getting to know a woman, and even when you're with her, you always want her to be one step ahead of you with the amount of interest that is being shown. As a man, you can never show more interest in your woman than she's showing in you, right? You have to match and mirror her behavior, right? And if you don't like what she's doing, then you got to talk with her and say, hey, this is not working for me. And if this is the way it's going to be, I think we need to part ways, right? But let's say she's the one, after you start seeing her, she starts reaching out to you every morning with a good morning text. Oh, good morning, Eli. Oh, good morning, ma'am. How's your day going? Oh, my day's going great. How about yours? Oh, it's great. Hey, what are you up to this weekend? Oh, I'm free. What's your idea, babe? Well, why don't we go to that spot that we've been talking about for a while for the weekend and get away? Oh, that sounds great, babe. I can't wait to see you. Oh, I can't wait to see you too, babe, right? Do you see how that works, right? Match and mirror her behavior, but let her be the one that is a little bit further ahead with showing interest. It's not that you're not interested in her. It's just that if she perceives you to have more interest in her than she has in you, it's going to turn her off. And it's only a matter of time before that sexual chemistry is gone. It dies. It's over. So that's it, folks. We are at 1 hour and 35 minutes. I really enjoyed doing this show today. I'm not going to do a Walking with Purpose stream today. I'm probably going to do a Walking with Purpose stream tomorrow, depending on how I feel after I get my first shot. I'm getting the vaccine tomorrow. Hey, what's going on, Stork? He says, hey, what's up, Holmes? Stork says, exactly. Their interest levels ironically drop if you show too much interest in them. The thing is, you have to show some interest, but you can never show more interest in them than they show in you. You have to always make them wonder if you're still interested, which you are, right? And I'll tell you, the smartest woman I ever went out with was Dana, and she called me out. It was a perfect back and forth. Like Coach Corey Wayne says, you hit the ball over the net, you wait for her to hit it back, right? So she would text me first, like on a Monday after, spending the weekend with her. And she'd say, good morning, babe. So she hits the ball over the net. I respond, I hit it back. Good morning to you, babe. How's your day going? Now, you wait for her to hit the ball over the net before, you hit the ball back, meaning you don't text until she responds, right? And at some point, you want to cut off the conversation because you don't want to talk with her all day. You're like, okay, yeah, babe, my day's going great. I look forward to talking with you by phone later tonight. We always planned on talking at 10 o'clock each night before we would go to bed. It was just a known thing, right? So the text was just to connect in the morning. And then I would say, yeah, I look forward to speaking with you tonight. We'll talk about plans for the weekend, if that's cool. Yeah, it's cool, babe. I look forward to talking. That's it. Boom. Go on with your day. Do your thing. 10 o'clock comes. You have the phone call. You catch up, right? You start talking about the weekend. And then every day after that, you start to amp it up a little bit more. And by the time you get to the weekend, you're both excited and you miss each other because you haven't seen each other all week, right? That's it. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. Stork says, interesting. Good idea to get the jab. Those jabs are the only reason we are fast getting back to normalcy in the USA. No, in my opinion, it's a great idea. Absolutely is. Absolutely is. Give me a second here. Wow. I just got a response, another positive response from Match. Today is going quite well. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Guys, if you want true love and happiness, don't give up. It'll come eventually, okay? You just have to learn how to navigate this modern world. And if you want to learn how to properly put yourself out there, the most updated version that I shared here today on this live stream, go back and check out this replay. If you apply the techniques I shared today, it'll give you the best possible shot of getting what you want. And for you ladies out there, same thing goes on the flip side, right? Same thing goes on the flip side. If you're, looking to find a good man, you can handle it the same way. Men and women nowadays, we're equal, right? From an equal rights standpoint, right? So nothing wrong with a woman even initially pursuing a guy. Nothing wrong with that. Women think that the men have to do all the pursuing initially. No, you can pursue too. If you like a guy, Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. Just follow the same principles that I shared within this stream for the guys, and you're going to have your best shot of getting what you want as well. All right, folks. I'm going to get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of the night. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.